As the New Japan Cup gets nearer and nearer to its climax, we are now down to 8 men. Those 8 are Kazuchika Okada, Sema, Tetsuya Naido, Jeff Cobb, Zack Sabre Jr., Will Ospreay, Shingo Takagi, and Hiromu Takahashi. As for my bracket, New Japan Cup wise anyway, I sit at 37-6. The two biggest bracket busters for me have been Sema and Hiromu. Because I had Sema falling to Goto in the round of 16, not him beating Goto. And Evil logically would have had to use the entire House of Torture to beat Hiromu, but instead he only used Dick Togo, and it cost him. Little update I might point out, Sonata is injured. He ended up suffering an orbital bone fracture. Those who don't know, an orbital bone is basically around where your eye socket is. If that gets fractured, it makes it pretty difficult to see in some spots. But let me double check that. Let's see, what's an orbital bone? Let's see what the orbital bone is. The eye socket or orbit is a bony cavity that houses the eye, the muscle that moves the eye surrounding the blood vessels, nerves, and fat. Shaped like an empty ice cream cone, and is composed of 7 facial bones. So yeah, essentially, Osprey fractured Sonata's eye socket the other day, yesterday, and during their New Japan Cup match, which led third round match, which led to Sonata being knocked the F out. Don't know how long he's going to be out for, but at least it's not completely shattered. But this could lead to him having to be forced to vacate the IWGP United States Heavyweight title if he doesn't get patched up quick enough. If he doesn't get patched up within the next 6 months or so, 3 to 6 months. That being said, as we're down to the nitty gritty, and between Sema and Hiromu's been my biggest bracket buster. I had him losing to Show, I had him losing to Suzuki, and I had him losing to Evil. Actually, I initially had him losing to Show. Had him initially losing to. Yeah, I did have him losing to Show. I did have him losing to Show initially. So yeah, half of the picks I've gotten wrong in this tournament have been because of the ticking time bomb. That said, how do I think the Elite Eight is going to break down? Well, I've already stated I want Okada to go over. I think Okada's going all the way to the final, but he's going to fall. So that means he's going to beat Sema. I've already stated that Ospreay is going to win the tournament, so he beats Zack. I still say Shingo is going to decimate Hiromu in the semis, but in their quarterfinal matchup. But the toss-up match for me is Cobb versus Naido. Does Cobb get his revenge over Naido, or does Naido continue to pick that leg apart and get the W get over Cobb? I say this time Cobb reverses his fortunes from what happened in the New Japan at Wrestle Kingdom earlier this year, where Cobb fell to Naido. We then go over to the semis, and then we head for the semifinals, and those happen on the 20th and 21st, respectively. Left hand of the bracket, 21st. Right hand side of the bracket, 20 on the 20th for the left, 21st on the right. And then both sides have their semifinals. I'm taking Okada over Cobb and Ospreay over Shingo, just for the logical point aspect. Now, while the winner would choose whatever champion he can challenge for, let me put it like this: with his win over Evil today, even if he doesn't win this tournament, Hiromu has at least got himself a consolation prize. 2 consolation prizes. He can team up with either one. He can team up with Bushi and Shingo and go after the never openweight 6-man titles, Or option two, and probably this is the one he's going to go after, cash in, call his shot, and challenge Evil for the never openweight title. Outside of Osprey, we haven't had any junior heavies walk out with with that never openweight class title. And we all know Hiramu still holds a grudge against Evil for what happened 2 years ago around this time. That being said, I still say Osprey wins the final and goes to Hyper Battle in Ryogoku on the 9th to challenge Okada. But this begs the question, if Okada retains, since he's the first runner-up, who gets the next title shot? If I had to guess, it's gonna be Cobb, based on the fact Cobb's the heel, where Shingo's more of a tweener that borderlines on a babyface, and it makes no sense to pit a babyface against a babyface a lot of the times in New Japan. They're very black and white vanilla in most cases, outside of tournament setups. That's when it comes to matchmaking. Anyone who has watched New Japan for the past decade or so, I mean, 8 to 10 years since New Japan World came online, would understand that. That said, leave a comment, smash the like, sub to the channel. Metsu128 signing out. Goodbye. Good night. Bang. And we'll see how things break down between March 20th and the 27th. Tomorrow, everyone's off. Sunday, we get to the quarterfinals officially kick off.